And a very pleasant Tuesday night to everybody. Ridgecrest Talk. I'm Tom Heck. Omar Daharo from Saracoso Baseball. Our theme is, as always on Tuesday night, is sports, athletic, in the community, at schools. And tonight we have one of the sophomores on the Saracoso Baseball team, a third-year sophomore from Bakersfield, Omar Daharo. And Omar, we spoke to you back, I believe, in September, just for a little bit. And now we've all getting towards the middle of the season. Let's talk about Saracoso baseball and how the state of the union is.
Oh yeah, sure. We've had a pretty big drop. We started off great. The first 5 games were awesome. We were competing. And then we just had a 9-game slide. We hit rock bottom, and it's been tough. It's been tough for the most part, but having fun, of course, enjoying the guys, and it's pretty fun out there.
Okay, now, you're a jack of all trades as far as positions go. In your tenure here, you've played third base. You are now playing shortstop for the team. You've also pitched. You've been in the outfield. You've caught. There's probably nothing that you can't play or position you can't maneuver on. What was high school like, and what did you do the most down there?
It is so crazy that we bring this up because my whole 4 years, I was strictly a pitcher. My junior, senior year, I would see second base. Sometimes I would start there second time. But for the most part, I was a pitcher. I was a PO only.
That's it, huh?
Yeah, that's it.
So that was your main position?
That was my main position.
Okay. Well, 2 years ago when you played, you pitched in a couple of games for us, and this year you're now at shortstop, and you started the season, most of the games here this year for Saracoso behind the plate as a catcher, and now you've moved over to shortstop. What's the big difference for you?
Oh man, I'm having a lot of fun at shortstop, and it was just Coach called, and Coach needed somebody to play shortstop, and he gave me a shot, and I'm making the most out of it. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I get all the ground balls. Everybody looks at you. You are supposed to be the man, and so far I'm having a lot of fun. Way different than catching and being back there the whole time.
Okay. Now, when you're catching, I know sometimes you get to call the pitches. Do you get to most of the time decide when picks are going to be, pick off plays, or is that call from the bench?
Yes. I call for the most part. I call the shots, but if Coach wants something else, if he wants to address the whole team on something, he'll give me a sign, and I'll go ahead and say to the team. But for the most part, I'm the one calling the shots.
Now, is that pretty easily done, or is that confusion sometimes if you're not on the same wavelength?
Oh, yeah. You definitely have to be smart, and you have to pick what plays, what time, when's a good time. But yeah, it is pretty difficult.
Mm-hmm. Well, let's talk about your upbringing over in Bakersfield. Now, back in high school, what sports did you play, and when did you start playing baseball? At what age?
High school, I just played baseball. I've been strictly baseball my whole life, and I started playing when I was like 5 years old. My dad used to coach a college team. It was really this like adult league, but it was a lot of college kids would come here to get their. It was like spring training for them, and I was always around very good baseball players.
Okay. Now, in junior high, the same thing when you went through the ranks and everything?
Same thing.
Now, I know you first were thinking about playing at Bakersfield College. Talk about the numbers over there and how many kids would Bakersfield College in a given year have coming out for baseball?
Bakersfield College is known for every sport. They recruit heavy. There's a lot of good baseball players there. BC's really good. I redshirted there. I was a little bit thicker. That was the biggest problem to me. The coach wanted me to lose weight. But Bakersfield, very good program. Very, very good program.
Mm-hmm. Now, when you went to Bakersfield, were you going to consider trying to pitch, or were they?
Oh yeah.
They have played probably.
I told them the same thing. What I told Coach, like, Coach, I pitch and I can play anything. Mm-hmm. And they closed me off and they said, you pick what you want to do. Either you're going to pitch or you're going to play the field, but you're just going to stick to one.
Okay, so they just had you kind of want to specialize in something. All right, let's talk about, we just got done playing Chaffee in 4 games this year. In the league with the 7 teams in the Foothill Conference for baseball, you play every team 4 times, and Chaffee took 3 of 4 of the games. We came back Thursday and had a nice win there. Let's talk about the 4 games with Chaffee, and Chaffee not quite as ferocious as they've been offensively over the past couple years, but go ahead and talk about the Panthers.
Oh man, them Panthers, they got us 3 times. They're a fundamental ball club, but it's just like you said, they're not superly stacked this year. And the 4 games, they beat us 3. We came back on Thursday and we showed them something. But yeah, they're a good ball club. They gave it to us.
So let's talk about their pitching now. What is the hardest pitch for you to hit?
The hardest pitch for me to hit is a changeup. That's the hardest pitch for me to hit personally, because it looks like a fastball. And when you see somebody, even if someone's throwing 80 to 83, that's not fast at all. But when you see that, and then when you see a 75-mile-an-hour changeup, a 73-mile-an-hour changeup, it's a big difference. And sometimes I get fooled, but that's by far the hardest pitch for me to hit.
Oh, is it? Okay. What about a slider? Now, explain maybe the difference to those that don't know baseball, that would like to learn more, between maybe a breaking pitch and a slider, and then maybe what a straight curveball is like.
Okay. A curveball is more of a loop, so there's more loop to it, so it's easier to hit. A slider, on the other hand, is thrown a little bit harder, and it slices. It's just a very hard slice, and it's coming fast sometimes. For the most part, people that throw good sliders, they throw it hard. But yeah, that's the only difference. A curveball is a loop, and a slider is a slice. It just slices to the right.
Mm-hmm. Now let's talk about a fastball at our level. What kind of speeds would, in the community college, what would be a fast fastball?
Oh, someone that, a fast fastball here at this level right now is definitely, if you throw high 80s, 90s, and if you just throw over 90, you're a stud. You're most likely getting drafted at this level.
Oh, really? Okay, yes. So over 90 is really...
Yes. Oh, yes. You are either getting drafted or you're getting D1s on you, for sure.
Wow. Let's talk a little bit about bats. Metal bats versus wood bats. Your thoughts?
Oh, my thoughts on it is the bats that we use now, these metal ones, I think they're horrible compared to the old Besser bats. And wood bats, I think they're way better than the bats that we use. I think that it's the same amount of pop, maybe more, if you catch it on the sweet spot on the wood bat. But it is easier to break, though. A wood bat is easier to break.
Do you think they implemented this because of the fact of financial concerns, that the cost of having to replace broken bats all the time versus really the not much cost at all for metal bats? Once you buy one, they're expensive. You've got it for a while.
Yeah, that's true. Actually, talking about this, I don't know if you heard why they switched the bats up Besser to BB Core. There was an incident back in 2011, because I was going to be a senior, and there was this kid in Texas that got hit by one of those Besser bats and killed him instantly.
Oh boy.
Yeah, killed him instantly.
So the ball off the bat?
Yes, the ball off the bat.
Okay, because they were.
Oh yeah, right. Those bats have pop.
Wow.
Those bats have pop.
We're gonna take our first break. When we come back, more from Omar Daharo from Syracuse Baseball. Don't go away. This is Ridgecrest Talk Tuesday night on Ridgecrest KZGN. And we're back. All right, Omar. Let's talk now about the rest of the Foothill Conference. Your thoughts on, I think Rio Hondo right now, the #1 team in the league, but San Bernardino also very good. They're the next upcoming team that we play in the schedule. The way the schedule works, you play every team 4 times. It used to be 3 times. Every team 4 times. You play 1 round with everybody once, and then after that, 3 games with each team. So let's talk about Rio Hondo, then we'll talk about a few other teams. Go ahead.
Me, I think that these teams are not that strong compared to what I've seen when I played my freshman year here. Hondo, they've always been a good ball club. They play good baseball. That they have good coaching. Valley, they're also another powerhouse team. Definitely the strongest teams in conference since I've been here is Hondo, Valley, Chaffee, for sure.
Mm-hmm. Now Rio Hondo, located down in the right off the 605 freeway in the city of really Whittier, but it's right on the borderline of Pico Rivera right there. The 605 and the 60 and the 10 all meet down there. And Rio Hondo's had a good tradition under Mike Salazar. It's a very good baseball community college program in Southern California. Had one of their starting pitchers actually pitch in the College World Series this past year for UC Irvine. So they've also put some people into the Division I level of baseball also. But they seem to just have a knack to get good pitching and have a little bit more depth than the rest of everybody else, maybe just because of the numbers. Although Chaffee and San Bernardino, not usually quite as deep as Rio Hondo, and they also are in large areas. I think, in your opinion, is there an area in Southern California that might be the strongest part for high school baseball to recruit from?
Oh, yes, definitely. I think Southern California is known to have really good baseball players. All of it. All of Southern California. I'm talking all of LA. Very good baseball players out there.
Mm-hmm. Now, I know that you came from Bakersfield area. How competitive is high school baseball, let's say in Bakersfield, and that central section versus the southern section?
Actually, there's very good baseball players out there. There's very good baseball. I just think that the difference is that there's more kids in Southern California and there's more coaching. There's more people that have been there that have done that, other than over here going up north like Bakersfield, Fresno. You really don't have... there's not that much baseball going on.
Mm-hmm. Now in the southern section, there's just so many more schools.
So many more schools, so many more kids.
And the playoffs are a lot different. They they break the playoffs into about 13 different divisions in the southern section. Now in the southern section, you may have to go 5 times to get to the final. And the numbers for your division you're in are always big-time numbers. Now in the central section, that's not so. Some divisions only have, let's say, for example, Kern Valley High School plays in a division, I believe, with only 15 other teams. So you're the best of the 15 and for your division. So there's a lot more schools in the southern section.
Oh, yes, a lot more school, a lot more talent personally. I played good baseball. I know good baseball, and oh man, there's more talent in Southern California, definitely.
Right, in the southern section.
Yes.
All right, Omar, let's talk about minor league baseball in Bakersfield. There's a team there, isn't there?
Oh yes, Blaze. Yes, that's funny you say that. They've been there for a long time. I moved to Bakersfield. I have living there now like 10 years maybe. 10, yeah. And they were there since I got there, and actually Billy Hamilton played there, and he broke the single season record. I think he had like 80 stolen bases or something like that. Oh yeah, he plays for the Reds right now, center fielder.
Okay.
Yeah, I've seen him play personally.
Okay. Is that a fun park to go watch baseball?
Oh yes,
there?
yes, definitely.
Older park or?
Oh yeah, older park. It's been there for a long time. Yeah, it's an old place. It's a very old place.
Our facility here at Saracoso, your thoughts?
Oh, I think it's a beautiful baseball field. I think it's gorgeous. It's gorgeous. I love the scenery. I love night games. I've played in like 3 of them, and just the background is breathtaking. Our field is breathtaking.
Mm-hmm. It sure is. In fact, if you haven't been up to Saracoso to watch a baseball game, you should get up on come up, and it's up on a hill, and it's kind of a slope down. You can bring a blanket, chairs or whatever, and watch, and really have a great seat to watch some good community college baseball. And that stadium built, really organized by Dick Adams some years ago, our first baseball coach, who had good success here and had a lot of players that went to the 4-year level, and with some good success there. When we come back, we'll have more from Omar. We'll talk about some other teams in the Foothill Conference, some upcoming games that the Coyotes are going to have, and we'll switch the little bit and talk about professional baseball and a few other things on our third section. Don't go away. This is Ridgecrest Talk. Tom Heck, Omar Daharo from Saracoso Baseball, KZGN every Tuesday night. Hope you'll join us back after this break. And we're back for our third part of the interview tonight. We have Omar Daharo from Saracoso Baseball. Omar, if you just tuned in, has played just about every position on the team. He's been at third. He's playing shortstop currently. He was our catcher for a good part of the early season. He's also played in the outfield. And several years ago, his first year at Saracoso, he was a pitcher. So Omar, as mentioned, is a kind of a jack of all trades. We were talking about the Foothill Conference teams in the league. We talked a little bit about Rio Hondo. They're an area that has such a large amount of people, good baseball area. Kind of the same thing for Chaffee and San Bernardino. And then there's some of the outlying schools that recruiting can be a little bit tricky, like at our place, Saracoso, like at Barstow, College of the Desert and Palm Desert, and then Victor Valley College. And Victor Valley much improved this year, but your thoughts on recruiting in some of the outer-lying smaller schools?
Oh, yeah. I think it's difficult for coaches to really get players because all the players want to go to good schools. They don't want to play for no scrub schools sometimes, but recruitment is very hard out here. I really didn't understand my freshman year, but now that I've been here and now that we're so far away from big cities and kids just also don't want to come out. And but yeah, I think it's very difficult for schools like us, Victor Valley, Barstow. You really have to have a good mouth to get these kids to come out here.
Now, some of the problems that you have at certain community colleges, kind of no exception, Saracoso, the housing issue comes up. There's no dormitories, and that can be a little bit tough sometimes. And what about eating? I mean, people just overlook the fact sometimes about nutrition being so important for athletics.
Yeah,
now,
true.
What about yourself? Are you a pretty good cook in the kitchen?
Oh, yes. I love to cook. I really don't like to go eat out. I like to go to the store and buy my meats and my chicken and just stay healthy because it's very important to stay healthy when you're young and you're really playing every day and you're practicing every day, you're throwing a ball every day, you're swinging a bat every day. You just one stupid little twitch and that's it, you're done. Like we have our catcher right now, he just had Tommy John surgery and it was overthrow. And eating is very important, getting your proteins and everything.
Mm-hmm. Now, as far as your thoughts for next year, are you looking already for some perspective?
Yes. Actually, I just want to keep on playing baseball, and I just hope somebody picks me up. And I have to keep my head strong, keep my whole mind right, keep my attitude right, and hopefully I get picked up by somebody. Mm-hmm. But definitely in my thoughts to continue playing baseball.
Now, where do you think you'd be a candidate to play at the 4-year level? What position?
I'm just going to tell you here, Coach Heck, anything. Anything. Wherever coach needs me, I'm there.
Anywhere, huh? Okay. What about batting? This year you're hitting about 210,
I'm not doing
208, and I know you can do better. I know you have the ability to hit the ball, and but your thoughts on, is it maybe something that you're just you're not seeing the ball as well?
I just need to be a little bit more selective. Really catch the ball in, really see the ball come into the zone. I love swinging that first pitch. I know because every time I go up to bat, I think like a pitcher because I used to pitch my whole life. And what a pitcher wants to do is strike you out. So I try to jump on the first pitch because they're trying to establish the first pitch. And that's by far my favorite pitch, and I need to learn how to lay off first pitches.
Now, what would you tell some of the younger people that might be watching in the Valley that enjoy playing baseball, that maybe are right now playing in the pony leagues or the senior leagues or maybe lower level high school baseball or even high school baseball? What are some of the keys, do you think, that they need to have to be able to succeed and play at the community college level?
Honestly, I'm going to get physical here. I think you need to have a very strong middle body. You need to be very athletic. If you want to eventually go to D1 or maybe even get drafted, which is, I know it's hard to get there and that's everybody's dream, you really need to put in work. You need to hit the gym, you need to hit the weights, you need to run, make sure your arm stays healthy, because if you can't run, if you can't throw because your arm's hurting, there's not much you can do. Just stay healthy.
Mm-hmm. Yes, that's key. What about now, would you say baseball is an aerobic or an anaerobic sport? In other words, how much cardio do you really need? Now, I would think as a catcher or a pitcher, obviously I think you're working harder than maybe a left fielder, a center fielder, right fielder, infielder, where, there might be innings where you don't really get much traffic at all. But your thoughts on that?
Actually, it's so funny too because baseball's a funny sport. You really don't need to be the fastest. You really don't need to be the most athletic to be good in baseball. And I'm going to give you a prime example here. Let's look at Prince Fielder. Big dude. He really doesn't run fast compared to some of the guys in the league. But God, does he hit home runs. God, does he send them out there. So I just think if you have talent and if you're good at what you do and you have very nice craft, you can expand on that.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Now let's talk about academics. I know it takes a lot of discipline to succeed in college, doesn't it?
Oh, man, a lot. I messed up 1 year, and that really costed me. That's why it's my third year. I should have been here 2 years. And the only thing I can say is you really need to be good with your time management. If you don't have time management, if you don't know how to establish that, it's going to catch up to you. Mm-hmm. It will catch up to you.
And I know, Omar, you're probably planning on being here for the 28th. That's tonight we have our Hall of Fame dinner. We're going to honor the community teams. And if you're interested in that, you can give us a call. We have an event on the 28th here at Saracoso, and that deals with the community. We're going to be honoring the Murray boys 7th grade and 8th grade basketball team. We're going to honor the Burroughs High School freshman football team that went undefeated in their league and were league champions.
Sweet.
Along with the JV boys baseball team from Burroughs High School that were undefeated in their league last year. We're also going to honor the IWV football runner-up team that went 12-2, and Coach Scott's son Brooks played on that team and had a great season. Also honored are going to be the volleyball team at Emmanuel Christian School, along with the 5th grade basketball teams that were very successful, Fowler boys and girls, and also the Gateway boys and girls. And that's on the 28th. The dinner's catered by Casey's of Ridgecrest, and tickets are $20 for adults, $10 for kids. We're going to have a few auction items. There's going to be some nice raffles, and still looking for a few businesses that might want to sponsor a table. And the phone number, if you are interested, is 760-375-6054. All right, Omar, in our last few seconds or so, we're about halfway, or getting near halfway for the conference season. Keys for us to be successful as a team.
Pitchers need to throw strikes, and they need to establish first pitch. We lose most of our games that we lose is due to pitching, because people just fall behind. And of course, someone that at this level they're really good hitters, and someone that has a 3-1 count, a 2-0 count, you are in the driver's seat to just pound the baseball. Pitching is a big factor for us.
Okay, Omar, appreciate your time as always, and hopefully we'll talk to you again before the year is out.
Thank you.
Omar Daharo from Saracoso Baseball, glad you tuned in tonight. Join us on Tuesday night. We'll have another guest next week in the theme of sports, athletics, community sports, and collegiate athletics, and also high school athletics. For Omar, I'm Tom Heck, bidding you a very pleasant good evening for KZGN Sports.